Well, I guess now's as good a time as ever. It's like trying to catch the beat up in here. A little bit late. Sorry for keeping you waiting, guys. Hello, Apollonia. So, 8 o'clock on the 4th of June. It's a Wednesday. Can you believe it? The week's just flying by. So thank you very much for joining us on this beautiful Wednesday evening. Wherever you are, whatever time it is, whether you're watching live or if you're watching later, don't forget there is in fact a Discord you can join. You can get stuck in. The link's in the description. And with that being said, I'll just make sure I can actually see the chat. Thank you very much, everybody. Like I said, we're here. I'm currently training something fun. There's no images though. So I'm training a new model based on a video I filmed of myself. It's probably 16 years old now, being one of my first YouTube uploads. And it's going to be a bit of a test because it's inline skating. And you're going to see, I think it's going to be a mess. But we've got the Epoch 1. So, yeah, we're going to load it up. And a little later on, because I have a job running, a little later on we can get into that. But I got something else to show you. Because yesterday we spent the entire session working on a little thing called Airplane Companion, written in .NET. And I got big plans. Okay? And we're going to see whether any of those big plans are just maniacal dreams or something that could be a reality. And I'll be honest, I've spent a lot of time vibe coding in Python and Node, and HTML is fun. That's solid. HTML Tailwind is probably all you need. But if you want to write for Windows, it probably makes sense to write .NET, doesn't it? As that is what it's for. And it turns out it can write .NET really well. I didn't ask for it. He did it by choice. So he wants to. Oops, I'm knocking my microphone. He wants to. I'm like gesticulating up here. Okay. I'm in completely the wrong place. I'm like looking at my NAS drive. Where are my models? Blah, 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 blah. Comfy UI, models, LoRa's, AA testing, big WAN. Oh, it's don't need to paste it. We haven't got it yet. Right, so we'll check that one out a little bit later on. But first, airplanes.net. Let's give it a refresh. Airplanes.net 2.5 is out. So let's check it out. Like I say, this was so much fun to make this. No pings tonight. What? No ping? Ah, crap. I knew I forgot something. Well, you guys are just dedicated then. I didn't even tell anyone I was going to be here. Thank you guys. I appreciate that. Late ping. We're actually here though. Here. What? It's giving me a weird link. Give me the proper link. Alright guys, we'll be right back with you. Oh my, what the heck? Has YouTube changed something? I just want to copy, there you go. At ... right now. Okay. Well, I may as well start like chatting with you guys, you know. Sneaky off the grid. Yeah, it's totally off the grid, guys. That's how it goes. Glad to have you here, guys, like I say, especially as you were all here to watch us build it yesterday. Now, if you've got .NET 8, you can run it without needing to take the full version, you know. But if you don't have .NET 8, full version for you. I will say if you're running it on remote desktop with a Mac, as one of my beautiful testers did, you might have some problems, but it still worked. It did work, right? So what have I added? Now, I don't want to tell you, I want to show you, because this page is probably longer than the software. It's probably more code in the... And this isn't even the README. This is just the README for the full portable version 2.5. We get a different README for every version now. But anyway, let's download this. I'm going to skip past everything because it is literally, we're going to do the full version. So it is download it, install it, download it, run it. So that's what we're going to do. I don't know why we're over here for some reason. Hang on a minute. Right, extract. Okay. I'm going to put this. I'm going to put this in my tools folder because I got a bad habit of leaving things in downloads, you know. Alright, so there it is. Airplane Companion 2.5.0 full edition. Comes with a build info. Isn't that cool? I wonder if it's given away like all of my deets. It's like giving away some API key or something. And then you also get a README full distribution, which is what was on the release page. But really all you need to know is exe. Now the cool thing about this app, and I haven't tested this yet, I did something a little bit sneaky. The graphics are external. There's the graphics. So what we're going to try and do is we're going to mod my app. Because normally you'd have to build all of the graphics into the EX. Well, that's what typically happens. The graphics would be generated or something. And so they're in here. You can't change them. Or they're a texture format or something, right? But what I did was with this one, I mean, there are some procedural graphics in the game. But we'll open it up in a second, right? I haven't even tested it on dual screen. I hope it works. But yeah, basically you have the explosions, which you remember from yesterday, and you have the planes. Yeah. That's pretty much it. Now, I plan to replace these with some proper sprites for a plane. You know, I plan to change it. But let's show you what we got. I'm really happy with this. I hope it works because I've only tested it on a laptop. Alright, so nothing seems to have happened yet. See what I mean? This is like my new passive video game concept, right? Click. It's coming. Right, do you know what? I'm going to have to click on my other monitor because it is dual monitor. Look, watch. Where is it? There he is. Can you see him coming in up there? A little bit of a frame rate issue, it seems. They're not normally lagging. Uh-oh. Oh, is it because I'm doing crazy things with Comfy? It could be. It could be. I'm doing upscaling in the background, guys. But yeah, basically, planes come and they'll eventually reach their target and they will eventually drop the bomb. Right? I love how we're getting crappy performance now. I had 60 FPS earlier. Suck it, Johnson. Oh, wait, now it's back to normal. Yeah, look, it is. It's Comfy stealing the bandwidth. Right, let's drop some bombs. Let's drop some bombs on Comfy here. Can I get some more planes? Yeah, they're coming. Right. So now I need to defend my Comfy UI. So by pressing Control, I can put I can put up to 4 turrets, and if I press Control again, it's just going to, like, you know, it's like an array. Do you know what I mean? So, you know, it can only be 4 long, so it'll just remove the last one in the array. There's far more planes coming from the left-hand side right now, by the way. Oh, he's dropped a bomb. They're not firing. They're out of range. Oh, no. Whoa, 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 whoa. So, Comfy is causing me to lag out. Hello, Zeus. So, yeah, we're just showing off this thing here. I wonder if I could make it a bit more obvious. Let's get Comfy out of the way. Yeah. Here we go. We'll go full on retro mode. Right. We're just doing this now. So, let's click. Basically, anywhere that you click as you're using the computer spawns a plane to come and bomb that target. And then you can decide, oh, I'm going to put 2 turrets here, 2 turrets here. And there's a lot of stuff going on in the background, right? So every plane actually has 3 bombs. Each bomb's worth 10 points. The plane's worth 10 points. So you can earn 40 points for killing each plane. Now, I got a feeling that the metric is messed up. So when the turrets shoot, often they'll get hit multiple times. So I think you're probably getting like double, triple scores and stuff. There's no like checks for that. Oh, he got through. And then he got one bomb off, see? So you lose 10 points potentially there. But here's the thing. This is just sort of idle tower clicker. You know, it's like an idle tower defense type thing. You set it up. Normally you'd have like your desktop icons and stuff, or you'll just be like, you'll click on a YouTube button and then like a plane will fly in and bomb it. It's fun. But once you reach 1,000 points, and there is no scoreboard that you can see, you can press shift click. Here we go, we reached 1,000 points. And now we have a defense wing that will seek and destroy with missiles. And so then you can actually, like, you don't really need, it's like, you know, it's like tech level 2. So I can kind of just put my turrets away now. And it's so laggy. It's laggy not because of the game, but because I'm like crushing it here with the 4K renders. But, and they sucked as well because I screwed up the tiling. But that's another conversation for another day. I think I fixed it now. But yeah, like I say, there it is. It's much more fun when you've only got one screen, I'll say that much. Because it doesn't take 20 minutes for the planes to fly from one side of the screen to the other. Also, if I click anywhere on this screen right now, the interceptors will kill everything on screen 1 before you ever get to see it. So let's give the fighters something to do here. Here they come. Oh, they're a bit low. Can you make them higher up, maybe? Here we go. And the jets are coming back. And so, like I said, we made all of this with .NET for fun, just as like, oh, what could we do with .NET? And the irony is we've actually got like, we've got all of the logic here for a full, like, idle clicker type game. But there's no world. I just love it because it's so abstract. There's no world. There's no map. There's no menu. There's no stats. There's nothing. And in fact, there's no game. Like, you're not even in a game. You're just, you know, you're just watching YouTube or something. Oh, I'm just clicking on GitHub. And then these bombers are coming to try and blow everything up. I think it's kind of cool. I'm going to enhance it with better sprite explosions, better sprite planes. You'll notice that the good guys are just a negative of the bad guys right now. And the turrets are just a square. I'm just going to leave that. There's no need to overcomplicate it. I think this project's done. Because I got other ideas, which is what we're going to check out tonight. Yeah, pretty much. I'm going to see where this one can go. Let me see. How much have I got left on the comfy? I don't know. What have I got here? 39. Yeah. That's basically out of action. All right, cool. That's all right. My intention is to vibe. So let me see. What do we got in here? We got explosions. Right. So the first thing I want to do is I want to see, can I mod the external? Because the whole idea was, you ever played a video game which is like modder friendly? You know, it'll allow you to just come in and change all the textures. It's fine. Here you go. And it's just a file you can just change. I thought that'd be kind of cool because this is just a shits and giggles. Do you know what I mean? It's just a lightweight. They just come and bomb your UI, you know? So it's designed to just kind of be there, a bit like the shark fin that I had on yesterday that was eating the mouse. Same kind of idea, right? And we're going to develop this a little later on. I just want to see if I can get like a different... So I'm just going to go ahead and... what is it? Like, I need to basically lift a GIF. And I think the best place to do that is a wiki. Wiki Red Alert 2. Unused assets. Cut content. Here we go. Yep. Right. Cut aircraft, cut infantry, cut content images. You got to be... Yeah. So... Tank hunting dog. No, that's not it. It's not going to be here, is it? Okay, do you know what? I'm just going to cut straight to the next thing because, to be honest, I should come with assets. I've got them on my laptop, as usual, and I don't want to remote access into the laptop tonight. But essentially, yeah, what I need to do is just, I mean, I suppose we could just like just get an image of some fire. Nah, see, the thing is, as soon as I think about it, I'm like, oh yeah, and then I want to get a noise map and motion the noise map, and then I'm like, I need to use Comfy. Comfy's out of action. I wonder. Remote access to my laptop and use that one. No. We're just going to get on with the Vibe project, guys. But yeah, the idea is change those image files. And, I mean, look, I haven't tried it yet, so I don't know. But I'm hoping that these are the actual files. You know what I mean? I suppose I could, like... See what I mean? It's like everything is like, oh yeah, but then everything's quicker with Comfy. So you're going to take seconds in Comfy or fiddle around for a half an hour. I'd rather, it's more valuable to do the Vibe stuff because, like I said, that's the next thing. Oh no, it looks like my jets have stopped moving. Bugs, man. Oh well. Right. Kill the airplane companion. It's lagging anyway because of Comfy. Ah, it kind of sucks when that happens. But yeah, it's actually really nice. It's smooth. I was using it. I'll bring it back and show you the graphics when I get them done in my own time. Because like I said, right now, that is just a massive bank of pixels. It's so bad. We did it really quickly in Photoshop just to get placeholder in. So the next step, the idea is essentially what I'm going to do is quite funny. I'm going to load this up, blow it up as big as it gets, blur it, prompt it for what it is, image to image it, with ControlNet, using Canny, and then use the same mask to chop it off again. So it has the same silhouette, automate the whole thing for every frame, and then finally... shrink it all the way back down and then use the mask from the original image. So it ends up being like basically the same thing. You'd probably be just as good just like hitting it with Gaussian noise. Yeah, it's probably going to do the same thing by the time you've done all of that. But anyway, it should be fun. I mean, it might be that I can actually use bigger, like higher res textures. The placeholder's only 32 by 24. So it might be that we can like use higher res textures. I don't know. So anyway, yeah, plan is I'll just change the images first and just run it. And if I'm lucky, you don't need to build it again. And then I can just update the graphics and it's done. But if it is the case that that doesn't work, it might be I've got to build it again. But like I said, the full source code's up on the GitHub. Anybody's welcome to turn this into an air traffic controller sim or a military sim or anything else, because you can just take the sim code and go, I want to add this, I want to add that. You know, maybe you want to add a UI. I didn't do that. I didn't do any of that stuff, just to keep it simple. So, in the spirit of keeping it simple, we're going to be using all placeholder images. So welcome to the land of the coloured squares. But obviously you can see it's one prompt to say, now we're going to replace placeholder graphics with external images. Tell me what size they need to be and what the file names are. And then he'll, you know what I mean? That's what I'm doing. I'm just not entirely sure if this is truly external or if this is just like, oh, do you want the images even though they're built in? Don't know. Anyway. So what we're going to do is we're going to use an early version of this as our base, right? So it's another .NET project, right? Let's see, what have we got here? Cab eval. Oh yeah. We're doing trainings. We're doing trainings again. So let me see. Open folder. I'm going to want to make a new one, I think. Unless... No, I don't... No, I did it... Did I do it all on my laptop? That's crazy. Well, in that case, I guess I could just start with shark fin, couldn't I? Sharkfin, even Sharkfin got kind of complicated in the end. Right, make a new project. So, new project is going to be, what should we call it? I want to call it something cool, which is kind of like a hat nod. No, I'd call it Westwood. No, that's too on the nose, right? Let's see. I can't remember if I said hello to you, Kirk and Zeus. I think I did, but if I didn't, hello, hello, hello. Right. So it's based on Sharkfin. I turned it into Red Arrow. Then I turned it into the Airplane Companion. So I reckon we'll base it on Sharkfin again. But I really need to base it on like an early version, because I did kind of overdevelop Sharkfin in the end. He ended up like, I wanted to implement a feeding frenzy where loads of sharks come for you, but I kind of messed that up. It didn't work, you know. They eventually just stopped tracking you. It's something to do with AI behavior trees. It even happens in Unreal Engine, so it's like, I'm not, you know, just take it back to the last stable version and be like, yep, that's the one. So the new folder is going to be named, I really could call it RTS, DJZ RTS. It's kind of crappy and generic though. Be nice if it was like a little hat nod. Ah! Wait. No. We can't do that, because that'll make it all like desert themed. I was going to call it Dune. I mean, there's a lot of memes. We've been doing a lot of stuff with that silly tag for a long time. But no, I'm going to save that. I'll save that in my back pocket. I'm just going to give it a working title. DJZRTS sucks, but I've got my head in the game, so I'm not really thinking about, oh, what should we call it? I'd be better off just asking freaking Claude. Hey, Claude. In fact, let's do that. Hey, Claude, what should I call my stupid game? Oh, and look. Z by the Bitmap Brothers. This is kind of tangentially related to everything which I'm doing right now. Even though it's very chaotic at the moment, it will eventually align. We will reach convergence. Now, I'm not making this because I don't rip stuff off. But it's, well, well, I mean, who doesn't at a certain point? You know, everybody, you know, oh, I saw something when I was a kid, I thought it was cool, and then I made one. It's not really ripping it off, but in a sentence, in a single sentence, you know. Bitmap Brothers made Xenon 2. I'm not sure about that one. All I know is that Z was one of the original gangsters, and it wasn't like Command and Conquer. It did its own thing, it had its own style, as it says here, pretty much. But here's the thing. I plan to create a strange game with no UI and no, well, it's basically like, you know, it's just, yeah, with no UI, and there's nothing else, there's nothing like that. It just runs. No UI and no game world. Yeah. It's like a worldless game. It's an interesting, it's like taking that minimalist thing to too far, you know, which takes the form of an endless idle clicker hybrid real-time strategy. What? It's not my fault. It's not my fault, okay? Don't blame me. Alright, blame the game. Which takes the form of endless idle clicker hybrid real-time strategy game on the desktop in .NET. We can speculate. Here we go. This is what I'm using him for. Not coding, not planning Python. We can speculate potential names for the game. That's all we're using it for. $1 billion. Tell me, oh great Oracle, tell me what I will do next. Puppeteer me. We will call it Zero Interface. That's null command. I like that. Null command. Yeah, that's cool. Because there's nothing. There's no menu. There's nothing. Null command. We could do like a null series. Null fishing. Null racing. It's just there. There's no world. There's no menu. It's a pretty cool idea, I think. Anyway, so yeah, we're going to call it null command, guys. We got a name. Woo. Give me that thing. Right. Yeah, new folder. I've forgotten it already. Something else got in my head. Null command. We'll have to AI generate the artwork. I'll have to make a lore now. I'll have to write the lore book now. God damn it. We'll get it done. So we have null command, right? And I'm going to base it on if I can find it. I don't think I zipped up the source. You got to keep that source bottled up. Bottled and fresh. Where did I put it? Oh, I know. I think that I transferred it to myself. Sharkfin 001. Ooh. Which version is it? Hang on. We're having some sort of minute eurekas. Okay, so... okay, that's something else. Doing something else. We've seen that before. I did update a script today. Caption root got updated. Just a little bit on the side of it, off the cuff. It now supports video because it was only programmed for image. It's only a slight change just to let it support video models as well, but it means if you've got a bunch of segmented video, you can drop this Python script in and either adapt it or just run the batch file it came with, and you know, it'll ask you what you want to be in at the beginning of the first line of every text file, which matches the file name of every video file in that folder. There you go. So it's designed to quickly get you up and running for style training video. So you segment it and then quick caption it. So it's just like, oh, XVF style, you know, some quick caption for the first train. And then you can make it better on the second pass. That's what we do here. Right. So yeah. Nice little aside there. Let's get back to the repos. So basically, like I say, the plan is to use a fork of sharkfin.net, which is like a little shark fin, goes around the screen, it swims over to wherever you click, and if you're still there, he'll try to eat you. And he has like all kinds of hunting behaviors and stuff. It was kind of cool little project. It has a portable release. It's very small if you already have .net. Yeah, pretty cool. But like I say, what is the version on this? 1.5.0. Nice. So that means 0.1.0 is like an early branch. So let's take a look and see. Look at it. I've detected .net. That's suspicious. Nobody codes with my platform. Poor guys. Okay. Right. Open this one up. And yeah, we don't do like lots of tabs anymore. We just open 5 billion windows. Alright, cool. Alright, so this is the project. And it looks like it's in a folder. So what I'll do is I'll just rename stuff for this, just for ease. Get rid of this. Okay, perfect. And let's just check out. I think there should be... I mean, I'm not sure which version this is. It should be the version that it's looking at. So, oh, whoa, oh, okay. This is a really simple version. This is the super simple version. It's too simple. All that happens is you don't move the mouse. The shark eventually circles around and then bites and eats you. So this is actually too primitive. Damn. See, the other one's got like crazy behavior where it patrols the screen and all kinds of stuff. But this is like the version 0.1.0. So it was working with the first concept, which was just a thing to follow you about. He didn't even have like a maximum speed or anything, you know. It doesn't turn around. The sprites don't turn around. There's all sorts of stuff missing. Okay. So that's a fail. Alright, you know what? I'm just going to use the full project. I think he's smart enough to pick and choose what he wants. So let's just kill VS Code again. If you ever get that error, it's because you're trying to kill the thing that's loaded in the project. Doesn't like that. In fact, yeah, I'm trying to delete. Shark Fin's following me around. Oh no, it doesn't even have a widget yet. It's so early in development, I hadn't even done that bit yet. Shark Fin companion, you have to come in here and do it because he doesn't have, like, you know, a thing down in the bottom right corner. The later versions all have that though. Alright, cool, we can delete it now. Cool. So like I said, it's so funny, right? You have to have initiative and motivation to just like, I'm doing this, we're doing this, because otherwise you'd be like, oh man, side quests, I'm hungry, it's time for lunch, you know. So null command, try again, it's already done it, thank you. All right, let's get rid of all these windows for a second. Okay, so at this point, cut content, don't worry about that. We can close that as well, get rid of that. Oh, no. Right, so anyway, we've shown off the proper airplane companion. RTS. So I need a URL for the airplane, right? Just going to take the source for the big version. Not airplanes. I need Shark Fin. Here we go, Shark Fin. That would have been messy. That one's got a little bit more complicated. Okay, so open we go. Oh no, it's gone. Right. So first things first, we're going to need to git clone our reference because that's what we're going to be doing. We're going to be using it as an example to keep our project on Rails. What's this? Bitmap Brothers made Xenon 2, Speedball, Chaos Engine, Gods and Magic Pockets. Wow, that's cool. See, that's the sort of stuff I want to take inspiration from, like take it back to basics, because we can't do AAA, yeah? So let's just focus on, like, you know, Pac-Man Plus, you know? So that's like all of that 2D stuff. Retro. So let's see what people are saying. Welcome, Mr. Geary42. Boyd's have a nice flocking and targeting system. Yes, Boyd's. I actually do have that on one of my vibe code repos up in the gaming section. We've got about, I want to say more than 10 HTML based stuff. And we're trying to branch into different things now. And like I said, what I'm doing is I'm trying to work on .NET with, so there's no map, there's no menu. It's just a clicker games. So, you know, they can just be there. And tonight I've got something which I'm calling null command. We're going to start building out the initial framework. I want to do sprites with like 8 directions and possibly even crawling animations. So I want to see how good we can get with the sprite stuff. Okay? Because it might be that there needs to be some trick to make it more efficient. Like a flipbook system, a la Unreal. But for now, we're just going to see if we can get a prototype off the ground. So I'm going to be using my sharkfin.net as the sort of example here. Which is, like I said, a shark fin. It's like what we just showed you, but it had a little bit more AI and it was point and click and stuff. And it's the point and click which got me. Because if you remember that, in fact, you know what? A lot of you guys weren't even here. So let me just show you that one more time. So I dose him up. It's all laggy because I'm doing 4K upscaling right now. But Airplane Companion is a idle clicker tower defense game. I'm just clicking the other side, my other screen. It works with multi-screen. So I'm clicking on the other side of the screen. All of these enemy planes are coming in to bomb where I'm clicking. Now, I can click with the control. I can go control click. I can put down some towers. I can only have up to 4. There's no upgrade system or anything. And then I get points for every time I shoot the planes down. I get extra points for putting, you know, for killing them before they drop any bombs. And they basically just drop bombs wherever I click. So as you're working, watching, whatever, you just have this sort of thing going on in the background. It doesn't lag when you're not maxing out your 4090 on comfy. Okay. And let me see. Oh yeah, and then eventually you earn enough score, you can press left shift. I haven't earned enough yet. You can press left shift and click and you can spawn a wing of fighters. But I think they run out of fuel because I initially coded them to have fuel. So I think after about 10 minutes they just stop moving and you can't have any more. So yeah, anyway. But I would consider it as good as it's going to get until I'm like motivated to add something else to it, you know. But yeah, like I said, at the moment, that's what that is. You close it with the little bottom right corner, you know, where the Discord notification thing is. So, done. All right. So like I said, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be using the... that was a mutation. So we've already done this. We mutated the shark fin into... Well, first I turned it into a red arrow, which is like it just puts a red arrow wherever you click for live streaming. Then I turned it into this full-on games sort of thing. And so now my idea is, how about a real-time strategy game? So what we're going to be doing is placeholder. When I do this, it's going to look devilishly simple, but it works. So I can't, you know, I don't argue. But hey, maybe it'll all break. That's part of the fun, right? So what have we got? We've got an empty folder called null command, which is where it's going to build our project. And then we have a folder called sharkfin.net, which is a fully working example .net project doing similar things as what we're going to be doing. So how am I going to prompt this? Well, like I said, we did it yesterday. So I'm going to take I think we did it here anyway. New project called Airplanes, and I thought, yeah. Yep, $5. So crazy, isn't it? So let's just do this. Now we're not actually gonna, little tip. What I do, I come outside of the project and I type notes.txt. And I'll put my first prompt often, because then I'm like not worried about accidentally sending it, all that stuff. And then we can really sort of, you know, get the plan down, as it were, right? So obviously this is the plan for airplanes, so we may as well quickly look at that, and it's a good example of what we're going to do. So we're creating a new project, airplanes, inside a new folder named airplanes. While will see my monkey, it's good that it understands our monkey speech, right? It's funny, but like you'll get away with stuff, okay? But it it should say while we will. Yeah. Wait. Which. It's which, not while. I'm going to correct that now. Just because. Which. Okay. Which will be entirely separate from the project used as reference. And then I name the folder. So there it is. Sharkfin.net. See? Which this new is based on. See, sometimes I type too fast and I miss entire words. Which this new project is based directly on. Currently, Sharkfin simulates a shark which hunts the mouse. This new project, Airplanes, will feature externally created graphics for a top-down plane which will fly to the last click location and attempt to drop a bomb. We will create new flying animation frames for the plane, and in place of the bite animation, we can use a simple bomb explosion animation frames to simulate the bomb having been dropped at the last click location. The bombers will spawn from only the opposite side of the screen, considering the X position only. The Y position is random. That's how they come in at all different places, right? However, halfway across the screen, the airplane will break its direction and make for the last click position. So if you were to like just make it go where it went, it will do a really boring, lazy angle across the screen, and you'll barely see it a lot of the time on multi-screen. So what I said was head to the middle. So on my dual screen, the middle is that edge there. You know what I mean? That's the middle. So no matter where they spawn, they go to the middle first, and then they route to where the bomb target is. And so if you have like 4 screens, it's going to be that middle corner. So it's basically, it stops it from lazy or boring pathings. They have to kind of reroute halfway, which is nice for the tower defense as well. But anyway, if it was just a single screen monitor, they kind of fly to the middle a bit and then they go to the target. Okay. Anyway, like I said, you can just ask for that and you might, well, get it. So yeah, break formation and make for the last click position, which is his target. There is no limit to the number of planes that can spawn. Later on in the conversation of the plan, I said, okay, we put a 2-second cooldown. So if you are clicking a lot for some reason, I didn't want that to mean, oh yeah, now it's going to spam you with 20 planes. There is like a cooldown. So you can only really, it's like every 2 seconds you can get a plane, right? I had to put it in there because I was like, I wanted to make do something fun, but at the same time, there's no point cooking everything, right? There is no limit on the number of planes. That was the initial prompt. Like I said, we qualified it later in the planning. And then here comes the actual bit. So like I said, I like to divide this up so you can kind of use this like a template approach. So at first, we have the context. So we're making a project called this and a folder called this, separate based on that. So this is like super dynamic RAG approach, because you could get, that could be any GitHub, any source code, right? Anything. So this is effectively reverse engineering and cloning it, right? Secondly, context, intent, context, intent, instruction. That's how I do it. And I never ask him a question. I tell him what we're doing. You know, it's never can we, it's always we can. I know it sounds like Yoda's thing with the do not, do not, do not try, only do. It's a little bit like that. If you're like firm, you can elicitate responses which wouldn't normally emerge on their own. And often he'll act with confidence as well. So as long as you know what he's capable of, and I don't, it's still new. But he seems to be able to juggle everything I throw at him. So anyway, like I said, that there is my context. So like I said, my intent. I keep mixing up the words. Context, intent, what I want to do, the plan, I guess, what I'm trying to achieve. That's my intent, yeah. And then here is the instruction, direct instruction. We can consider the plan while we prepare to create the first fully working version. Read sharkfin.net, which is a fully working reference showing methods and logic we will build upon, because I plan to steer him a bit. Create the new project, airplanes. Once the fully working prototype is ready, user will externally create the image assets, and this is a nice little trick I keep doing over and over again. Include the required information in the handoff document for the development team, and you can take that into the next stage, working with a new agent, Or, obviously, it's going to tell me, as a human, I need to go and make these sprites this size, call them this file name, and then put them in the right folder. Scuffed Yoda. Yes. There, yeah. What is it? Do or do not. There is no try. Yeah, Yoda's way more. His saying's much better. Ours is like, we can, not can we. There is no question. There's only instruction. But anyway, this last part's nice because you can actually do this in a bunch of different ways. So I could say, I could make the HTML for a nice front end in one session and then say at the end, this is the front end for my Next.js project, include all the information for the next, for the Java team or whatever, right? So yeah, it's a nice way to make him give you a really professionally written document, which he actually understands as well, so you can augment with that. So anyway, let's evolve this. Like I said, I do like the prompt evolution thing. All that's going to change because it's going to be a completely different game. So that's gone. The intent is completely different, but the context is not so different. It's almost a template, in fact. So here I'm going to say we're going to create a new project called null command inside a new folder called, you guessed it, null command. Well, actually, it's not a new folder. Inside the folder named, and then we'll do a little thing for, you do the at / for the folder thing, and that will tag. I mean, it's easy to do. I can show you how. So yeah, which will be entirely separate from the project used as reference, sharkfin.net. That one's already there. Which this new project is based directly on, because it is. So let's look at the technicals quick, make sure it's not a load of nonsense. So null, and the thing is, it's funny, isn't it? A lot of this stuff is just like template. So like you could probably just take this bit, knowing which bits you've got to change. So null command is reference to my project, sharkfin.net is reference to the project I'm cloning. That happens to be one of mine, but it could be anything from anyone. GitHub's a big place. It doesn't have to be a video game. It could be anything. Right. So, blah, blah, blah. There's nothing there, as I have to say. It's sharkfin.net. Okay, I'm just thinking about the sprite sheets, because I've got 8 directional movement. And I'm thinking I could just drop it and just make it 2 directional movement, just to make, 4, north, east, southwest, rather than trying to do 8 directional straight out of the gate. It's less work, it's less images. I've got them all already, but it's still like, I don't want to make it too complicated on the first go. So, relax the scope, or, relax the target just a little bit. Okay, so we will create null. Wait a minute. Yeah, we will create null. I can't even spell. We can create null command. Yeah. Which will start when the user. In fact, let's just. Yeah. We'll start when the user when the user clicks with, I'm going to use I think I use, left shift. So shift, we're going to do a thing here. Shift plus left mouse button. Yeah. Which will create the hospital building at that location. Yes. Or I should say at that position. That's better. At that position. Right. Okay. Mm-hmm. We'll use external images in the next stage to replace the colored placeholder square assets. Okay. After the game starts, I guess it's a game now. After the game starts, the user may click any position on the screen with shift plus mouse, which will create the hospital building at that location. The hospital will have an animation to build the building quickly, then uses a 4-frame idle. How many frames was the other thing? I think it's 9 frames. I'm actually going to specify it. It's probably a little bit of a reach, but you know, it's the sort of thing you have to tweak or just do what it tells you. There's nothing wrong with adding a couple of frames here and there. A 4-frame idle which loops for the oh, see, saying it like that is going to get me in trouble. I'm just going to say idle animation. Because if I specifically say, this is an interesting point, if I specifically say, make me an idle animation which loops for the duration of the game, like that specific, if there was like a better way of doing it that I don't know how to verbalize, he's not going to do that. He's going to do what I told him, and then it's going to have like, it's going to have insane ping, you know, when you're playing it, the hill is just going to be jacked. So you got to watch out for stuff like that. It's a bit like when it's always a temptation to do stuff on tick, which is basically every frame, and you should never really do anything on tick. You should always do it on like frame rate or a division of frame rate, but not, you know, because if someone's running 140 frames and then you're doing like a check to see how much health they have 120 times a second. I mean, look, maybe it's important in combat for some types of games to have that level of fidelity, but usually it's just like overkill. Anyway, like I said, it's a decision, isn't it? But what I would do is I'd usually do like a check every second or so, or like if there was an event like you get hit, we can do a little check on health, you know? Anyway, so 4-frame idle animation to build the building and then idle, right? Okay. Now, this is like the tree now. This is like intent mode. So, trying not to be technical, I try to separate it out like a Neapolitan, you know. So, like we've got this is how we reverse engineer at the top. This is how we actually tell him to do the job. This is now wonder mode, you know what I mean? Like, what do I actually want in this thing? So once the hospital is built, the user may click. Should I make it? Yeah, it should be shift click to interact with it. Yeah, shift plus LMB click to spawn a soldier. Right, now we're getting somewhere. Once the hospital's built, who will move down and stand, say below. I hope he understands that below is like south. I'll say stand. Does he understand what south is? See, I haven't. Normally I would test to see if he understands these terms before I use them, but I'm just going to say outside. Outside the hospital. Hospital. Yes. Then idle on guard mode. Okay, So the soldiers on guard mode. So we've introduced all kinds of stuff in one line, you know. Oh, now they can spawn soldiers and they can actually move and have animations and do all this stuff, right? Okay, we can define what guard mode is in a minute. Now, soldiers within within 256 pixels of the hospital will gain health regen each second. I won't specify the amounts unless it's like important, because he should just give like a default values that are good enough and we can tweak them if we want. Soldiers within 256, because we're trying to make like a cheap CNC type idle Command and Conquer clone, you know, that's what we're going for. I've already got the graphics, they're on a different bloody machine. But the thing is, it's just sprite sheets, guys. You know what I mean? They're ancient. You can probably go and pick up the game and then get like open source tools to pull the textures out yourself. It's much better than trying to download them online. You probably get some kind of like cyber aids from the internet, you know. But yeah. Soldiers within 256 pixels of the hospital will gain health regen each second. Okay. Okay, now we need to say the hospital can spawn unlimited soldiers. However, there is a, let's say, so the barracks is pretty quick in Command and Conquer. I'm going to say a 2-second cooldown. Cooldown on requesting additional reinforcements. We should like fake all the sound effects and stuff so it says like unit lost and unit ready and all this. I think that'd be cool. But like make our own stuff rather than just try to imitate the style rather than just ripping it off. That's the idea with the sprites, by the way. They might be shocking. I'm going to warn you. They might be shocking. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see how they come out. Hospital can spawn unlimited soldier. Unlimited soldiers, however, there is a 2. Yeah, that sounds reasonable. So it's like there's no need for money. There's no. You know, I'm trying to change the game design in subtle ways, so there's no need for like the menu, the credits, the mining. I mean, look, I'd love to do all that stuff, but it's really complicated and there's loads of graphical assets involved in that. Just bringing in some soldiers and then having some other soldiers that are like enemies that maybe patrol too close and then maybe... So the thing I want to get here, though, is the real-time point and click. I did it with the planes, so I know it can be done. It's just a question of how squirrely he's going to be with us, right? So... I'm extending coffee time until when I get this prompt out of the gates, because we've spent like a while on it. But it's, you know, it's nice to sit down and get your teeth into these things every now and then, right? Hey, it's comfy finished. Oh, I think it is. Right. So, don't get distracted. Hospitals can spawn unlimited soldiers, 2-second cooldown. Yeah. So the only thing I haven't said is... we need to be able to shift-click on soldiers. When soldiers have been spawned from the hospital, we can select them with... I love it. We're just going to use shift for shift. I love it. Shift plus LMB click. Yeah. While selected, we can... shall I use shift again? No, it should just be any click. We can use LMB. LMB click. Let's give it a little thing there. Just be like, oh, what is it? It's a command. We can use LMB click to give orders to move. Now, we won't need orders to attack because they'll auto-target. Yeah. Well, I know it's like a staple of Command & Conquer to be able to go move, 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 and then they won't attack until... but they do sometimes attack with that. You know, if they get in range, they will. So if you move them there, they'll still attack. The only thing is I can't change the mouse pointer. I haven't figured that out yet, which is kind of ironic because I know that you can do it with .NET and change the mouse pointer and stuff. But I think maybe it's like... with like new Windows and stuff, I think it's more complicated than that. I don't know why. I'm still looking into it. But yeah, the idea would be to actually have, you know, like a movement icon and a thing icon. There's also something else I want to build into this version as well, which is boss mode. So let's just include that one. It's kind of like a bit of a retro hat nod to the old games, you know what I mean? So if the user presses... Now, this could completely screw everything, by the way, but I'm going to go for it because it might, like, break the UI canvas in ways that I can't even contemplate. But if the user presses F12, then the entire game will... The entire game layer, or canvas, yes, canvas, will be hidden. And it's like, this is boss mode from back in the early 2000s. So many games had a boss mode where they literally had a button to hide the game because your boss just walked in and you shouldn't be playing games right now. It's brilliant. So I'm just putting that in for fun. What else have we got? Oh yeah, of course, there's nothing here to talk about, like, you know, health, firing, anything like that. But I think... just being able to get them to move around and stuff is actually going to be enough. If I can get something to... if I can get the spawning and the moving of the, you know, selection move, I can get all that done. I'm not too bothered. But do you know what? Should we just do it briefly with, like... yeah, we'll do it. We'll do, like, what do you call it? The vibe code equivalent of white boxing, you know? So we'll say... soldiers will... tend to group into threes. No, fives, isn't it? Command & Conquer, there's fives. Group into squads of 5 and move together if within range of allies. Okay, that's number 1. Number 2, soldiers will fire together. So yeah, soldiers will fire together at a designated... this is going to be interesting. A designated squad target. So like... so they have some like inter-squad stuff going on, you know what I mean? If like one of them sees something, then they all turn and shoot, you know, not just the one. So it's a little bit... obviously, if he's on his own, then he just acts on his own. But if they're together, they'll kind of clump together. And so we're using a little bit of that swarm stuff. It'll be in there, you know. It won't be specifically those libraries, but I'm, you know, we'll read the thinking. You'll see. Soldiers will fire together at a designated squad target. Okay. Soldiers will return... wait. Soldiers can move from their guard post. Well, need to actually say they have one of those, don't we? Designated squad target. Yeah, okay. Soldiers will return to their designated guard position after combat ends. So I need to start probably here-ish. Be like soldiers. Was there? Soldiers will idle near the guard position forming squads of 5. Until detecting enemy soldiers, where they will I want to say start, enact, enable, begin hunt mode or seek mode. Yeah. Where they move towards enemy positions and fire if within range. Just like automatic. I don't know how they're going to figure out which target is which, though. So, if the user presses F12, the entire game canvas will be hidden. Right, I think we've got a solid plan. I'm just trying to think if there's anything left. Oh, yeah, the enemies. Don't forget the enemies. So, enemy soldiers will be using a blue square. Okay, hang on a minute. We haven't even said that they're using red square yet. Oh, have we? So, user-controlled soldiers will use a placeholder red square. Enemies will use a blue square, so it's just red versus blue. Do you know what I mean? Standard. So we'll use a blue square until the art assets have been commissioned. Estimated 6 months. No, I'm joking, guys. I'm joking, guys. Completed. Okay. Cool. And then we have to describe what the enemies are, right? So enemies spawn at the opposite screen edge to wherever the user last clicked, with a 1 second cooldown. It's going to be a lot of them coming. With a 1 second cooldown. It'll end up looking like when you play Command and Conquer, you have like the Russian conscripts just rush you, and then GIs are just all there like. It should end up being like that, but like extremely low rent. So yeah, that's what we're aiming for. Enemies at the opposite side like that, opposite screen edge to wherever the user last clicked, with a 1 second cooldown. I think that's pretty good. It's kind of like you'd like sit there and ruminate over it. I think that looks good. I think that's pretty good. Okay, so they... how do you say that? Sneak, prowl, shanty? What do you do? They move in groups of 3 slowly toward the user-controlled hospital, the UCH. Okay. Position. Automatically firing on user-controlled. I should just call them friendly, but I don't want to. I've said enemy. Whatever. User-controlled soldiers. Right. Because I thought to myself, if it can do sprites, why not? Hell, we could probably do a remake Z that just runs on your desktop. That's what I mean. It's like, it's just a question of assets and time. So again, recap. This up here is the context. We're going to create a new project called null command inside a folder named null command, which will be entirely separate from the project used as reference, sharkfin.net, which this new project is based directly on. That's like my context of what we're doing. Then I have my intent for what this actually is going to be. So all of the stuff I want in the first build, I guess. So much there, guys. And then I'm going to say we can consider the plan while we prepare to create the first fully working version. Read sharkfin, which is a fully working reference showing methods and logic we will build upon. Create the new project null command. Once the fully working prototype is ready, the user will externally create image assets, include required information in the handoff document for the development team. Development, I'll say the art and development team. There you go. Sounds good. Right. Copy that. And let's go full screen here so we can like see all of this. So we're going to take that one back. Sonnet 4. Okay, there's the plan. This is one of the reasons why I do it all separately, so you can actually be like, oh, I bet I still made a silly error somewhere. Read through it like 12 times, but you know, you get blind to it. So the only thing I want to do is make sure that these links are actually like highlighted, so that tells me that it's actually, you know, Klein can see those folders, right? It should be that's, yeah. Create the new project null command inside the I forgot to just quickly link that at null command folder. Probably don't need to tell him. He will actually create the thing for you, but I just wanted to create it so it's more visually obvious. It not being there is a bit hard to follow, and especially as it takes like ages to get to here. So there it is. Let's hit the plan. Now, before we start doing coffee time, because I'm thirsty, I want to note that you can direct everything at this point. Oh no, don't be doing that. Don't be giving me API grief. So yeah, you can do, it's probably internet connection, guys. Don't be surprised if the stream dips, but we're still here. We're not going anywhere. So, I'll show you what I'm talking about, but say we're reading this back, which we're going to do in a minute, and we see some stuff which we're like, oh, no. You can sculpt it a little by say, oh, actually, I only wanted 12 frames for the swimming. Okay, obviously, he's talking about the other, the thing we're mutating shark fin. But just for example, say in the plan we're about to read, it said, oh, I'm going to do 6 frame animations for everything, and you want 12. That sort of stuff isn't what you want to steer now. Let him build it and just say, change my frame, because that's the sort of thing you can change easily once it's built. You don't, you know, because if I turn around and do too much, it's a bit like being at a restaurant, you know. If you give them the waiter too many modifications to the order, you're just increasing the chances that it's not going to come back right. It's the same fractal. So this plan here, if there's something which is like pants down important, I actually wouldn't, at this point, I'm just going to adjust my main prompt and go again. So like, yes, you can redirect it here, but you should respond to the things it's asking you, or add those things to the plan and start it again. Because what happens is, like I said, he'll focus on the few things you said and forget all of the really good stuff that came out of this first pristine plan. It is actually a good idea to do things like saying, wait before we plan, and think hard about the plan before we, doing that kind of language so you can prepare this bit with AI, see? I know I just wrote it out by hand, but you can do this all. You know what I mean? You can get him right on the plan and then put the plan and then... so there's lots of sculpting you can do in this process, is what I'm saying. Right, so let's see. So let's just go over what he's done before we do my coffee time late. Let's see. I'll help you create null command RTS. He wants to read this. He starts thinking about it. See, I really want to get into the thinking. But what I'm going to do is we're going to do this little thing called coffee time. Normally comes in about 25 minutes ago, but I'm in the zone, so it's coffee time, guys. Right, now where was I? Oh yeah, waiting for the bloody coffee machine, that's where. We're not ready yet, so let's see, what do we got on the comments? New sub, hey, no worries, welcome to the gang. Scuffed Yoda, yeah, do or do not, there is no try. All things Yoda indeed. The baby Yoda probably can get some, I bet there's about 10 Lauras for that one, right? So glad you could all join me tonight, guys. Going to be looking at some cool stuff. If it works. Either that or it will break spectacularly. Right. So let's see it. And welcome back, everybody. We're going way past halfway. Normally I do about halfway through, but you know, we were getting into it, so it took a little longer to get to that point. Coffee time came a little late. But let's take a look at what our guy has done for us. So obviously shark fin, this is just explaining everything here. We've got like a 60 FPS sprite system with loads of state management. It's crazy, actually. I created this kind of thing in Unreal Engine 4 for tutorials back before COVID era, and it's a lot of work actually to get all that done. So yeah, you know, even with a nice system like Unreal to help you. Right, so null command, real-time strategy architecture plan, core game systems, game world management. So we've got a canvas-based game field similar to Shark Canvas. So hopefully that'll give me multi-screen support and all sorts. Coordinate system for building and unit placement. Camera viewport for handling larger maps. Not really sure what that means. Building system, hospital class with build and idle. Building placement validation, health regeneration. Ooh, I never said you can only have one hospital, did I? Now that's something important. I might have to start again. That's really important. You see how, isn't that like really obvious? Let me just check. May click any position with shift which creates a hospital. Hospital has thing. Do you know what? I'm going to let you have... Do you know... No, I'm not going to make it complicated. I'm going to say you only get one. So, yeah, once the hospital is built... is that enough for it to figure it out? Well, we'll soon find out, because the thing is, it's the same button to do everything, right? And so if it gets confused, you'll just spawn loads of hospitals, and then when you click on them, it'll just make another hospital. You know what I mean? So yeah, we might have to let's just have a look and see what else he's done here. So number 1, no hospital limit might screw this whole plan up. Building placement validation. I'm not sure what that means because there's nothing. It's just a canvas. Health regeneration aura. Soldier class with movement, combat, AI states, squad formation, health system, regeneration, selection and command system. Enemy spawning at the screen edge, pathfinding for unit movement, combat mechanics with range detection, squad-based targeting and coordination, shift left mouse button for building placement and unit spawning, left mouse button for unit selection and movement orders. Oh, did I screw something up or did he not listen to me? While selected, we can select them with shift. Ooh. Okay, I think that maybe I need to take out those brackets. Yeah, let's take out those brackets. Okay, so actually, I'm glad I did this because, like I said, I'm not gonna modify this. I'm just gonna run the prompt again. You know, I think there was one thing I did down here, which was say, let's just take this here, shall we? Where is it? Get that last bit there. Other than that, I think it's the same. So let's just modify this because, like I say, this is part of the thing, you know. Try to align it as best you can before you actually take the safety off. Once the hospital is built, no more buildings can be constructed. The user may then use shift mouse left button click on the hospital. Yeah, see, a lot of stuff was vague there. To spawn a soldier who will move down and stand, who will move away, move out, move down, fine, and stand outside the hospital. Idling on guard mode. Save that. Soldiers within 256 pixels. Soldiers spawn from the hospital. Select with shift mouse button click. You can use left comma while a soldier is selected. We can use to move that soldier or his squad if that soldier's in formation. It's kind of like spaghetti. Oh my god. Oh. Or his move that soldier and or his squad, just that, because I didn't even, yeah, it's fine. Save that. So what else did I mess up? I think everything else is okay. Everything's automatic. And the funny thing is, whenever you click on a unit, it's going to select that area to be the target for the next wave, you know what I mean? So every time you click anything, that's where the enemies are targeting. It's like a little trick, like a little mirror trick, you know? Anyway. It's like, oh my god, the AI is so good. How does it know? It's like, well, you could put a dead space around the base and then have it so that whenever you click on the game world outside of a certain area, that's where the enemies go to investigate. And then it kind of looks like they know what you're doing, doesn't it? Because they do. But obviously you'd have to like mask out the base. Otherwise, they just directly go straight to your base. Like, oh, how do they know where I am? This is crap. You know, it's like it's a tightrope walk. Okay, so let's just take that there and close it and put it in again and send it. And hopefully I didn't miss anything this time. But that's nice. Thank you all for joining, by the way. Please like the stream. I don't exist if people don't like the stream, it seems. But that's okay. We've got our own little like cozy art club thing going on right here. We're here every day from 8 o'clock, and I'm glad you could join us. So like I said, we're doing a little bit of game design with .NET, which is not something I thought I'd be doing, but it seems to be able to run the sprites nicely, and we can definitely make sprites. So we've already read that. Same thing. Same thing. I hope it understands what we told it, because it'll break otherwise. The boss mode is funny. So we got squad formation, guard mode, seek mode, combat mode, and return to guard. So they're kind of like they'll just. It's as automatic as I can make it without needing like buttons and things, and lots of keys. It's already too many keys in my opinion. You know, we have 3 keys right now. You could probably do it with less. I bet if you was clever enough, you probably wouldn't even need the shift. Because at first, you know, it's like you don't have any people. So at first, you just click somewhere and it makes the hospital. Then you click on the hospital and it makes the... But I'm trying to make it so I've got room to, like, add extra bits later. Because it might get more complicated than it already is. Okay. So what else have we got? Range detection for firing. Yes. Placeholder coloured squares. So it's red versus blue at the moment. No sprite sheets yet, but like I said, I have got them at home. Construction complete. So here we are. With the Spirit of Westward, you know, in the corner, echoing away. Let's see if we can make something funny out of this. Adaptation from Sharkfin. Window setup, game window with canvas, mouse hook, input detection for RTS control. Shark entity becomes the hospital, the soldier, and the enemies. Behavior state, unit AI, animation system for the buildings and the unit. Timer system, game loop with multiple entity updates. I don't doubt once you actually get it all working, you could probably say enhance or optimize this code, and it's just going to go ahead and like vectorize your loops. But I don't even know if .NET can do that. So let's see. So the phase 1, and there's something else as well which we're going to look at, right? Let's just take the safety off. I'm happy, but we'll continue reading this. So WPF Windows setup and with game canvas, input handling system, basic entity management, placeholder square rendering, hospital system, placement mechanic, construction animation, soldier spawning with cooldown. It all looks good. Guard move, enemy spawning. I don't know. It looks like he's going to try and do it in one shot. And then we get our handoff document, and this is the bit that's the coolest, because look, this is like a shopping list of everything I need to make. And look, it's even telling me it needs to be 32 by 32 pixel PNG with transparency, 8 FPS for buildings, 12 FPS for units, just like I asked. So it's to spec, right? So I don't know what your spec is, but I'm sure you can accommodate it with this approach. Architecture leverages proven patterns from Sharkfin while adapting them perfectly for RTS. But the only reason I think like that is because I've been in Unreal for years, and I know that you can turn one thing into another thing. You know, it's the asset flip. We've all seen it before. What the hell? Text document is null. Yeah. Sure thing, mate. Okay, so yeah, like I said, we've all seen asset flips before, and the asset flip doesn't change the code. What we're doing is reverse engineering a previously working project that did something else, switching it up and adapting it into a completely different genre, and then giving all new assets. That's just templating, if you know what I mean. That's just templating, really. It's not like it's not lifting anything. And like I said, I use AI to make the graphics, use AI to make the sound, AI to make the music, AI to write the story. I mean, there's not going to be a story for this one, but I think you can see where we're going with this. Because, like, what if I decided to cover the desktop with a procedural world and then did all the same stuff I'm doing now with a menu and a story and like NPCs? That you can take it in any direction you want, can't you? So it's just a question of choice. Like, I decided I wanted like an idle clicker desktop thing, like, because that's what we've been doing for the last couple of days, just playing around with that concept. So that's what I'm doing, right? But the same principles apply. All you have to do is say, oh yeah, we could just have like a procedural jungle and a helicopter, because I fancy making Jungle Strike next. Do you know what I mean? Like Jungle Strike. I think that'd be really cool. We could get like a tiled jungle canopy, and like you have to fly around picking up supplies or something in an Apache. I don't know. Rescue POWs. Collect fuel so you don't run out of fuel. I don't even know. This is the thing. It's like you have the dream, you type it in. It's really that simple. And like I say, I put up a lot of my stuff. Like you say, we started today with a public GitHub link, just to sort of underscore it, you know. You can just go ahead. So let's see. What is it finished? Get out of here. You can't believe it. Cracks me up every time. It's building already, guys. You see, we spent more time setting it up. It was finished in 15 minutes. Let's see if it runs, though. Apparently it's running. So, oh. It says it runs. No output expected because it runs a transparent overlay. Let me run a launch script. .NET run. It's a crap launch script. So we're kit bashing. Yeah, it is. It's kit bashing with function. Yeah. Essentially, like, we got something that works, so we're going to mutate it into something else and see if we can, you know, see if it doesn't fall apart, right? I mean, technically this is running. Let me just check. Have I got a... Yeah, wow, it's even got a little... Wow, boss mode. All right, we need to actually try it out. Okay, so I click the button. I don't see any squares anywhere. I don't see it, because you would have thought that an enemy would appear, right? I don't see nothing. Okay, shift click. Oh, I've got a green thing. Can I shift click? Oh, I got a soldier. He can't move. There's nothing there, though. Oh my God, what are they? Okay, right. I just noticed the army coming. Don't worry. Let's, should we get him a... Can I have another one? Uh-oh. I think my mate's about to get absolutely murked. Oh, no. Okay, you'll have to forgive me for the... Yeah. Okay, well... Just let it happen, I guess. So, I mean, it worked, but I don't know if I can shoot, and I can't spawn any more guys. Oh, wait, can I move him? Wait, can I... Oh! Shit. I got a chance. Guys. Oh, they're nice. They're grouping up. No. Get back over there. Oh, man. Yes. Go. Oh, no. I sent them the wrong way. Oh, no. What? They're not firing at each other. Oh shit, they are, but I can't see the bullets. No, 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 no. Yeah, he's dead. Wow, I think I got wrecked, guys. Well, just need some graphics. Oh my god. Okay, I need to increase my ability to spawn soldiers. You're going to see how many units are coming for my ass. Right, should we test out boss mode? Ha ha! It's a whole new genre, guys. No world, no menu, but there's a game there. It might not look pretty right now, but we're actually from the image realm. We just mess around. Like, we like text because it's cool, but we spend more time in the images. So yeah, give me 5 minutes. No, it'll take a bit longer than that. It'll be my project for the next couple of days when I have some free time. But yeah, very happy with that. That's actually quite good. So yeah, you have to right click down in the bottom right corner. You'll notice it says null command RTS, boss mode, and exit, because I just got absolutely wrecked. But that worked 100%. So obviously I want to be able to build, like, you'll want to be able to build turrets in addition to infantry, but I think you should like unlock that by building additional buildings. This is why I didn't use control click, because I thought it might be interesting to like use control click to put down some other structure. You know what I mean? I'm trying to keep it simple, and I'm thinking turrets cost money, which is earned through score, which is calculated from kills. So it'll be hard at first, and then it will get easier. I think that it was a bit buggy. The selection was a bit buggy, so I could probably improve that. Null command and .NET run. Yeah, let's just do the thing and back it up and publish at this point, because I like to just commit. So yeah, oh, it's run it again, has it? Okay, right. We already tested it, mate. Don't worry, it's fine. It's good. It's fine. Oh, is he just done? Is he? All right. So here we go. This is one thing I like about .NET as well. So I'm sure there's more finesse to this, you know, licensing and authentication and all this nonsense, right? But anyway, certificates. Microsoft love their certificates. But what we can do is we can say this. We can build for the light version. This is what I refer to it as. A Windows exe distribution which requires .NET to be installed on the system. Okay, so I do that one first. And then once that one's done, I'll basically say the exact same thing. I'll say, we can build for the full version a Windows exe distribution which does not require, yeah? It's basically the same exact prompts, just like the opposite. And then he's going to publish it into the folder for me with the version number. And I appreciate this isn't version 1.0, okay? But you can just change the number. Yeah, so the main difference will be self-contained true, if you like just doing things yourself. But I like to show people how they can do the fully prompted version of things, you know what I mean? You can actually have them do both things at once, but I'm trying to like keep it clean, because otherwise it's too confusing for people who have never seen, you know, if you've never... Cause look, I don't think I've worked with .NET since a very low number. I'll put it that way. An embarrassingly low number. So I've worked with .NET before, but I don't know anything about .NET anymore, you know. When I saw .NET 8, I was like, 8? Last I checked, it was 3.5. So that just goes to show. And that was recent, to be fair, comparatively recent. So anyway, yeah, so null command, .NET publish, release, Winx 4, self-contained, distribution, null command light. It wants to test it. Does it? I thought you'd already done it. Okay, he didn't do it yet. There we go. Does he want to copy any files? No. Sometimes he wants to copy some DLLs. Yeah, it is C#. It is C#. It is C#. But he seems to be good at writing C#, you know. And also, the files are shorter, which means it's quicker and less context window, so it's actually cheaper as well. It was cheaper and quicker with .NET. What can I say? I mean, look, maybe it's just the things that I've been doing, the very basic things that we're doing here, you know, spawn a sprite on the screen, make it move to the last place I clicked. This should be pretty easy stuff, really, you know what I mean? I could probably find a tutorial in every language to do what we're doing. Okay, let's do it. I thought you'd already done it. Are we just doing the same thing over and over again? It feels like it. Crazy. Null command. Great, he says. Let me create distribution package by copying everything. So, look at that. He's so nice to us. Oh, you've already done it? He's so nice to us, he's done it twice. Isn't that good? Client wants to execute this command. Yes. There we go. Alright, cool. There you go. Couple of, yeah. Now, obviously, normally I wouldn't be bothered to do this until the game's, like, more finished. Because obviously at the moment it's just a bunch of placeholder graphics, right? But it's nice to show this part of it. Because a lot of people will show you, oh yeah, it works. Just do node run or whatever, right? Node, just run it with node dev. You know, it's like, no, you need to learn how to package and stuff too. It's all built in, so it's not hard. It's like... And if you don't know how to do it, you can just say what I did, you know? What did I say? It's up here somewhere. Look at him doing all the work. Right. We can build for the light version a Windows exe distribution which requires .NET to be installed on the system. Like, is that really, like, do you need to be an engineer for 35 years to figure out this prompt? No. No, you don't. You just need to have a rough idea of what you want and then verbalize that in a clean way. And to be honest, I didn't say requires. I'm like a grammar. Oh, you can't say that. I'm going nuclear on grammar. Right. We good? Oh, look at that. He's even included our run game bat. What a cool dude. Oh, nice. And then here we get my art book. See, I'm going to need this tonight when I do all of the sprite work. Well, maybe not tonight. I'm busy tonight. But you know what I mean. Wait, what? Did that just have a telephone number? What the hell? Hey. Stop. Development team contact. Huh? It's got a phone emoji. Design questions. Military authenticity and style guidance. What? I'm not quite sure. Some of this is like spaghetti. Test all assets at game scale. Verify transparency. Ensure animations loop smoothly. Check visibility against different backgrounds. Confirm assets maintain quality when rendered as overlay. Interesting. These are all good points. Which you would normally pass down the chain and they would have to worry about. But it's interesting, you know, it's like spoon feeding you the basics. They're all valid things to think about, you know, like you should be aware of those things, obviously. But if you're new, maybe you didn't think of some of them, I don't know. I mean, it's pretty obvious when you look at it, because if it looks janky, it looks janky. But there you go. So let's see, what's he actually saying? So hospital building, recommended size 60. Oh, so nice, we can go up to 128. That's cool. Soldiers can go up to 32. I think they're actually 128, so we might have a problem there. But I think they've got like a big area around them, so they're probably only really 128. I mean, they're probably only really 32 in a 128 image, and it's all transparent. But you got to worry about that, because obviously when you have sprites, sprites, the bounding box is often the whole image. So if you had like a little guy running in the middle of a 16:9, he's going to have like detection squares on each side of him, which will cause him to get killed when he doesn't get hit. You know what I mean? So you have to kind of slim it down to his silhouette as best you can. It might be that we can have it so that the collision detection ignores alpha. But like I said, in my experience, he plays a little bit loose and fast with stuff like that. You know, it's like, oh well, to save on calculation, I was actually using the full dimensions, not the actual alpha dimension. You know what I mean? He'll be cheeky and not actually go that far. So you can kind of catch him out with that kind of thing, is what I've been finding. Look, Foundations World. Look, he's telling me how to do it, but I already told him what it's going to look like. The idle animation is just a heat haze, by the way, guys. I'm not like, you know, it's just a heat haze. And it's an unused asset from Red Alert 2 as well. And I'm obviously going to do image to image and stuff with it. So, but that's what it's based upon. If you're interested, I'll show you the preview, because I have got one up somewhere. There it is. Everyone remember the civilian hospital from Red Alert 2? That's my template for the frames on this one. So you can see this is the being built animation, and then this is the idle animation. Both of these images have been scaled up because obviously the asset's really small. I think they're both 2x. I don't know why they're showing differently here, but for some reason that one's massive. Oh, it's because it's a GIF. Yeah. I think the gifted stuff. Anyway, they're all the same size. Do I have any of the soldiers? I don't think so. I think I might have a demo though, because if you go to the inside line, which is where all my latest stuff appears, you will notice we got the native Tripo 3D API there. There's airplanes. We got the Recraft API, which is text to SVG. More expensive than a Flux context though, which is interesting. I think it was 8 cents per image at 1024 square, where it was 6 cents for Flux context. So it's interesting that this is like more expensive. I don't know. But yeah, there's the workflow for that one. Obviously airplanes.net was the main showcase. We built it yesterday on yesterday's live, so that would have been episode 158 for anybody that's watched the stream this all the way to the end. And then we've also got, like I said, the full release is out. You can go ahead and mess about with it. Got all these features. And then I decided to make Sprite Master, which turns a sprite sheet into individual cells in the order of the sprite sheet. So it's like untiling. Okay, or tiling, it's essentially tiling. And then we also have video to cells, which is loading a video and then dumping the cells. And as you can see, we have an extremely difficult to see dude getting his head, his hat has fallen off and he fell down. So, and that's the workflow, and that part of a new pack that's coming out very soon to deal with all the sprite operations that I'm doing for these various projects. I'm releasing all the tools I'm building, which is, you know, how, yeah, that's how we do. Let's see, visual style, hospital. So some of this actually is useful for the next stage of development, but this first phase, now it's like functionally working. I'm not bothered about the rough edges so much. Now I'll get the art assets done, change it so it can support, you know, animations and everything for directional movement. It needs to go north, south, east, west as a minimum, in my opinion. But I also want to get in a stretch goal of a crawling mode, right? So they can get down on the floor and they're harder to hit. So they don't just stand there shooting at each other. When they're under fire, they'll get down on the ground and shoot from prone, which I think is kind of cool. So that's the idea with it. Let me see. I don't know. We might do more of this tomorrow. It really depends if I have time to get the graphics further along. And doubtless there'll be some other thing that will come up. But like I say, we're going to do a bit more writing tomorrow because we've not had enough time to do writer's room proper for a couple of days. What with all of the new cool stuff that's been coming out all the time, all this VO3 and Sonnet 4. But I have been doing a lot of research, and the narrative inversion technique we use, I kind of shelved in painting and A, B, C, D and A to B type narrative creative writing. So we're going to be showcasing that. So it's going to be narrative inversion version 3 or narrative inversion 3.0, and we're going to write some more stories. We're going to be upscaling the stories that we wrote last time, because I actually think Sonnet 4 is so much more improved for that task that actually it's worth redoing them again. It's actually worth going back to the originals and doing that last process with the unified narrative operator. Seems to have gained recursive depth that he didn't have before, and he's rewriting things in a way which is more organic than before. I mean, it was pretty good already, but now it's really good. So, you know, that's where we're at. So thank you for joining me tonight. We'll be back same time tomorrow, 8 p.m. GMT, and I'll look forward to seeing you again soon.